Hello, everybody. We're back for part 2 of our Kentucky Derby preview.
Mm-hmm.
We left off with El Kabbir. Am I saying that right?
El Kabbir, that's right.
Okay, so he's got Calvin. And you know what that means? You know what that means? He's going to get bet.
Calvin Borrell.
He's going to get bet.
Actually, CC Lopez has been my idol jockey from when I grew up at Monmouth Park. And this would have been his only Derby, and the guy's also in his mid-50s. But Mr. Zayat decided to go with somebody who had a little more experience, and I can't blame him for pitting Calvin Borrell, but I'm just sad I didn't get to see Chucky at least, give him a shot in this race.
Mr. Zayat's the horse's owner. But he's got Calvin. And
he's got
Calvin. Calvin means that he's going to get bet. So 30-1 is he will probably go off at 16-1.
No, he's going to go off a little more than that. Probably like 20-1, more likely.
He won't go up at 30-1. So you said earlier you like horses that are progressing in their speed figures.
Correct.
And he's regressing.
Regressing, right.
Right. So these horses have forms, they have peaks and valleys, and it seems like this horse is in a valley.
Mm-hmm.
And from what little I know, Scat Daddy is not really a sire that makes Derby horses.
Distance.
Right. And by classic distance, we mean the Kentucky Derby distance, which is a mile and a quarter.
Yeah.
Right. 10 furlongs. Right. So we have distance worries, and we have the fact that he's regressing. Now the good news is he's finished on the board. That means first, second, or third in every start except this one.
And the bad news is the races he did run well against, the competition was less than stellar and is much less than what he will be facing in a couple days.
Right. As I talked about in part 1, if you look over here, all the horses in bold are horses that ran in the Derby are running in the Derby. And no. Yeah, and he lost.
Right.
So, okay, let's not waste our time on this guy, because this guy is going to take up the vast majority of our time.
Absolutely.
So Dortmund is one of the favorites of the Derby,
and rightfully so.
He is 3-1. We've been talking about all these other horses are 30-1, 50-1. Now we're at a real.
We're getting to the big boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 for 6,
undefeated.
1 point. Let's just call it $3 million. The horse can do it all.
Hopefully, will be. Yeah, there is not one.
That's what he's won. 1.3.
Right.
What's 1.3? Now, if he wins the Derby, then he'll win another.
Right. I get it. There is not one knock on this horse, really. I mean, he has shown to be battle tested, especially in those races against Firing Line, where he basically had to chase Firing Line into the stretch, and he just ran him down. He never gave up and got him right on the wire. And he's come out of those races excellent. And he's battle tested. His speed figures are excellent. His competition was good, and he will be able to get a mile and a quarter. And his workouts have been phenomenal training up to this race. The horse hasn't lost a beat since he's arrived in Kentucky. He is a prime contender, and plus he drew the 8-hole, which is also where Mind That Bird and Barbaro have won from in the past. And he's also got 2 closers in El Kabbir and Bolo to the outside of him. So all the horse has to do is break, and he'll get perfect position. Garcia will put him wherever he wants, and he has an ideal trip to win this race.
Now, one thing I like about Dortmund is that the horse has guts.
I said he's battle tested.
He's been in
very determined.
He's been in a lot of stretch duels. I like horses with guts. Ballad. I'm a big fan of Ballad.
Oh yeah,
I was a big fan of Medal Count last year because the horse just never gave up. And another thing
in that race.
in the Derby?
Yeah.
No, the horse got slammed into.
Oh, that's right. Just like Vince Ramos and Danza. Yeah, so did Danza.
If it wasn't for that.
So did Danza. Danza ran third.
Danza's the one who slammed into him.
No. Danza got slammed into. Oh, then he slammed into him. Right.
Yeah, we're not talk about dancing. We're here to talk about. Also, for you casual that only watch one race a year, this horse is huge.
He is massive.
He is a physical specimen. He is massive. Yeah, right.
And if there is a knock, it's that he is too massive, and if he gets stopped in the Derby, and some people think it'll be hard for him to get rolling again just because his frame is so big. I really don't see that happening.
Well,
he's going to get a dream setup.
If any horse gets stopped in the Derby, they're probably not going to win. That's. I mean,
unless they're a horse with the class and speed of Dortmund. Well, he may be just that good enough to be able to overcome.
Well, it depends. But the thing about Dortmund's size is that he's less likely to get slammed and stopped because he's so much bigger. He will knock another horse out of the way instead of another horse
because of where he drew in the race.
Right.
Anyway,
yep. Let's go.
Dortmund's a key contender.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Moving on to Bolo.
Bolo, he has no chance. So look at his. The people that he's run against, okay? He lost to Dortmund. Now we are going to put him not only against Dortmund, but against everybody else.
Yeah.
Excluding American Pharoah.
Well, Bolo he actually is a pretty good horse. The thing is, he's more of a turf horse. He's got the way he runs is a very high action that is more suited for turf races. And I just think they're just trying to take a shot because they have a Derby horse.
Right.
And also his jockey, Mike Smith, chose to ride Far Right, who is honestly not one of my key contenders. So if he chose to go off of that horse to go to Far Right, who actually drew the far outside post, that just means I just don't like this horse at all in this race.
It's Golden Pegasus Racing. They got a horse that's got the points to run in the Derby.
Yeah.
Now they get to go to all the owners' dinners and everything. They get to be on NBC.
I guess the horse would need to fly in order to win the race.
They'll wear bolo ties. They'll all wear bolo ties in the stands, and the owners will get their money's worth.
They can drink their big juleps, be so drunk they won't even know their horses.
But what they won't get is any prize money. Okay, down to Firing Line. Firing Line is almost the forgotten horse because the last time that he's ran is March 22nd. And in the world of Twitter and the world of the media of horse racing, everybody's about the cult of the new. American Pharoah works out, he's the greatest thing that ever happens. Mm-hmm. Dortmund works out, he's the greatest thing ever. Right? So
the Firing Line's works have been very good too. He's been very energetic in his race and very eager. He's coming into this race the right way.
Right, but he has kind of been forgotten about because
which is why there's a ton of value on him at 12-1
because he hasn't ran in so long. Yeah, but with the horse racing media, Firing Line was also a very late arrival to Churchill. I think he only just showed up yesterday.
Right.
So when he showed up yesterday, now he's the cult of the new. So now they're all like, oh, look at how pretty the horse looks, and they're all taking pictures, and he's taken to the track so well. Oh. So I think now he's sort of a wise guy horse.
Absolutely. Because, look at his form too. The only couple of times he's lost recently were to Dortmund, and if he can go to Sunland Park and win a race by 14 lengths, no matter the competition, that obviously flatters Dortmund well because Dortmund actually came back to beat Firing Line in both races. But that doesn't discount Firing Line at all as a really good horse. So I don't think he can win the Kentucky Derby, but I think he has a shot to run very well to run second or third.
Well, I think he can win the Derby.
Do you?
But I'm not going to pick him at anything under than 10-1. And
here's
why.
Value,
and,
right?
Here's why. This is a horse with guts. I mean, the horse has lost three times, a half a length, a head, and a head. In 3 losses, he has lost by a combined 3/4 of a length, and he's only lost to a head to Dortmund twice. Is Dortmund one of the favorites of the Derby? Of course. And he's only just lost by a head.
Right.
So all that he has to do is improve a head. Right. So he also may come from just a little bit off the pace.
Right. He is rateable.
He isn't a deep closer. but he could come from off the pace, and
he doesn't have to be on the lead. He's a horse, much like I think Dortmund that can rate off the lead.
Right. Now I just said the firing line is one of those wise guy picks. Well, guess what?
And also look who his jockey is. Gary Stevens, Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to. I know he is, but okay. Well, let's go to Stanford. This seems like another horse. Like, why are you here? You're just taking up a spot. And it's interesting that Todd Pletcher is sending him out, because we talked about Todd Pletcher in part 1. Now, normally when a trainer sends a horse that has no business being in the Derby, they turn out to be some kind of rabbit that's out there to go really fast and screw up the front runners, right? Well, his other horses are front runners, so he's not going to be a rabbit, right?
But he's more likely to be on the lead.
Right, but he's not a closer. So what's he doing?
And actually, the owners were wishy-washy over the past few days on whether to even run him or not. If you're going to be wishy-washy and entering this race, you shouldn't be in there anyway.
Right. And so let's.
He's going to go to the lead, and then he's going to go to the lead, and then he's going to fold.
He's going to go to the lead and maybe hurt the Baffert horses. But
maybe. If the Baffert horses are smart, they'll take off a little bit if he tries to go too fast. Anyway, move on. He has them shot.
International Star is the son of the Derby winner Fusaichi Pegasus, which is one of my favorite horses. But
really? Good to know.
Yeah, he isn't my favorite, but he's one of my favorites. English Channel's my favorite.
Duly noted.
Okay, so he's also the top point getter for the Derby. So how you get into the Derby is over the course of this year and some part of last year. You earn points. And based on how many points you can get, if you're in that top 20, then you're one of the 20 horses that run in the Derby. And he's the top point getter basically because he is the winner of the Louisiana Derby, the Risen Star, and the LeConte.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
3 preps in New Orleans.
Right. So he has beat up on New Orleans horses. Now, who has he beaten? Okay. So
not much.
War Story and Keen Ice we haven't talked about.
And Stanford.
Well, let me
all of whom don't have a chance anyway.
Let me just tell you that War Story and Keen Ice have no chance. No. So if Stanford has no chance, War Story has no chance, and Keen Ice has no chance, then International Star has no chance. Even though he's the top points getter.
Not quite. And here's why. In the Derby, you're going to have 20 horses. You're going to get caught in all kinds of traffic. You're going to be bumped around. It's a given. You need to find horses that are going to be able to handle that kind of pressure. And International Star is the only horse in this field that has actually shown to even like traffic. Every time he gets caught in trouble, he always finds his way through, weaving through between horses, and he somehow finds his way to the winner's circle. He's much like Dortmund, he's a very gutsy, gritty, and determined horse, and he will run for you every time and not fold, if he's getting bumped or, if he gets caught in traffic. Now, the problem is that he's just not fast enough, to win this race. He's not as fast as the top horses. I really don't think he has a shot to win. But this horse is going to be one of my keys in my trifecta and superfecta because he's going to give you an honest shot. And at 20-1, and plus he's the top point getter. I think this horse has a legitimate shot to hit your trifecta or superfecta, along with Dancing Moon.
Well, what I'm showing here is that this horse is a closer.
And the race sets up for him too because he is a closer.
And we talked about the pace of the race, so that's something to consider. So it's a knockout is another Todd Pletcher horse.
Oh yeah.
So
another Todd pretender.
This horse is only in the race because they could sell his saddle. I mean, the jockey's legs for like $1 million or something to promote the Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
So
that is true. I did forget about that.
So they will get a lot of attention on NBC for the pre-race because of his name only, and they'll talk about the Pacquiao fight, and maybe they'll have somebody on talking about the fight. But
they're also debating whether to run him or not. But he actually ran really well in that workout against Materiality. But he really doesn't have a chance. That Fountain of Youth two-back was an absolute fluke over a very tiring racetrack. And actually, he was promoted to the win because Upstart got disqualified for bumping into him.
Right.
But that's a whole nother topic.
It shows second, but he actually won, and it's kind of suspect. But then the next race out, it was also against Upstart. He lost by 21 lengths.
Yeah.
Now he didn't. He actually had enough points to make the Derby during the Florida Derby, so he didn't have to win. So that's,
I mean during the Fountain of Youth, so he didn't.
No, because he won the Fountain of Youth during the Florida Derby, he didn't have to.
Right. He
win.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe they just put him in there, but
still, when you lose by
he's not going to win.
lengths,
you
no,
don't
and his speed figures are very light.
84. We're talking about Dortmund here, who is running constant hundreds.
Right.
So, no.
No. Moving on to good old Keen Ice.
Keen Ice is another no. So he's earned enough points to make the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Running in the same races as International Star, who we already talked about was only beating Suspect Fields.
Mm-hmm.
He's a member of the Suspect Field.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about.
And he's also got a very big fan base on Twitter for reasons I don't even know.
Oh, really? I hadn't seen that.
There's a lot of Keen Ice fans out there who think he can actually win the race, and I just shake my head. Because the only time he won, which was his maiden race, all he was doing was passing tired horses there. He really wasn't running fast at the end. He wasn't really running fast at the end of any of his races. He's mostly just passing tired horses. So
okay. So he is the son of Curlin, so he's definitely able to get the distance, right? And he's the deepest closer of the field, I think.
Yes.
And in a race where we talk about, all the pace and all and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about all the people that want to run up front. He's the deepest closer of the field. He's 50 to 1, and he can definitely get the distance.
Yeah.
Now what he doesn't have is that kick, push
turn of foot,
push button go. But if everything breaks down in front of him,
he could. His workout the other day really wasn't all that special.
If Keen Ice wins the Derby and it's a Giacomo type odds, right? Then we won't say where did he come from. Then we'll go, oh.
But I can guarantee you,
missed it.
There is not going to be a Mind That Bird or Giacomo this year winning this race. I can guarantee you that with the type of field that they're facing, it's just not going to happen. But if you want to use them to get up for like fourth, as a closer, but I'm going to be tossing him.
All right, let's go to Frosted, the winner of the Wood Memorial. I think we talked about in part one. That's the key race for the Northeast horses. We're both Northeast guys, so this is a
local one.
So there's some hype. There's some hype for Frosted. I don't know if it's justified. Now,
What makes it different?
I talked about Ten Sender, right? Now I heard that Ten Sender made his move too early. And if Ten Sender had just waited a little bit, the margin of victory would be a lot closer than what it was in the Wood, right? Now, people are loving Frosted because they said that Frosted looked really good at the end of the race, like Frosted had something left. Therefore, Frosted could go the extra eighth of the mile, though the Wood was 1 1/8. Now this is a mile
and he is bred to get the distance.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good pedigree for it. But I don't like him necessarily because he was running well at the end of the race. I like him because he was running 4 to 5 wide on both turns, and he was wide the entire race, ran far more than in distance than any other horse, and he still won easily. And also that race 2 back in the Fountain of Youth, he was coasting clear in the stretch, and he was going to demolish Upstart, and it's not going. And he just stopped, and people were wondering, is this, considering his prior record, is this horse really that good? What's wrong with him? It actually determined that he flipped his palate, which means his breathing during the race was obstructed, and that's why he was doing well into the stretch, and then he just folded. So the trainer, they did a procedure to correct that. They made a bunch of changes. They put Joao Rosario on him, changed the jockey, and they basically changed everything they could about this horse. And look what the result was. He easily won the Wood Memorial and is now primed, and he's been working well too, and he is primed for a great run in the Derby with a great running style, and at 15-1, he is one of the only 3 horses that I think can win this race.
Well, I don't know if he has a great running style. They kind of changed his tactics in the Wood, and it worked out. But before the Wood, he was not really an off-the-pace kind of guy. But if he's off the pace again, of course he's got a chance because of everything we talked about before.
He doesn't even have to come from far off the pace. He can just sit mid-pack right behind the stalkers and still have a good shot to be in closer position without getting cooked on the front end.
All right. Well, we are at 21 minutes, and we've got 5 horses to go and our picks. So we'll stop here, and we will pick it up in part 3, okay?
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching.